Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I really want to examine why Chanel is put on the pedestal that it is. After many years of being in the industry as well as, participating, that's a nice friendly way of saying shopping a lot. I kind of walked backwards into the realization that I don't actually like Chanel. And it's taken me buying, I think 4 bags or so to figure that out for myself. And now, hopefully, you guys watching this will not have to take such an expensive road to realizing that you don't actually like something. We're gonna be examining what the actual characteristics of this brand are, and I want you to ask yourself if these are things that suit you. So if you do still like Chanel, let me know specifically why. It's kind of like a given, it's kind of expected of us that we're supposed to like this, and right now I'm trying to examine why should we like it. I want to get to an affirmative reason why this brand or this brand is better than any of the others. And just looking at all of this, I have not been able to reach that conclusion.
So when I sat down to film this video, there was one really important thing that I missed. Outside of my own personal hang-ups around Chanel, do remember that I worked in the luxury resale industry on the ground for 10 years. And in those 10 years, I got to interact with countless real people on the ground, probably countless thousands of them. I got to see what people actually showed up to buy. I got to see the types of things people would inquire about. I was able to get a sense of what types of things actually resonated with consumers. So from 2014, I got a pretty comprehensive view of what people like, as well as what they actually buy. And then down the road, when people go to sell the items after they've gone mostly unused. And based on all of my interactions over the years, I'm pretty comfortable saying that it's not just me. Most of you probably don't like Chanel that much either. I think that there is an idea of the brand that people attach themselves to, and it's not really about the products at all. I want you to know that the point of this video is not just to call the things ugly, even though I do believe that some of them really are. My purpose today is to get you guys to take a hard look and find the objective reasons for yourself why this is something you'd wish to attain. And be prepared, the brand might come up short. Let's get back into it.
Now, I've mentioned before that the pedestal is the thing in luxury that I hate the most. For me, in really liking and wanting to participate in it at this level, I feel like it needs to be at the top on merit. It's not enough for it to just have a name and have an association. It's actually about the products and my own needs, budget, style, and enjoyment. And what I really want is for all of us to examine specifically what it is about certain brands that we like. I know, groundbreaking concept, but I feel like not enough of that has been done, at least not for me in the past. And getting here has brought a lot of clarity as to what exactly it is that I do like, and has made me enjoy the things that I already have a lot more. And now, before we get started talking about Chanel, there are 2 things that I don't want to discuss in this video. Probably know what they are. Quality control issues, they are well documented. I don't think I have anything else that I need to take time to address about that issue in particular. So we're just gonna set that aside for now. It's not just about the quality, it's me coming to grips with realizing that even if the quality were 10 out of 10, I don't like the stuff. And that's what I want all of us to be examining with this video in particular. And the other thing that I will not be talking about today is this word, or these words, this phrase, whatever. I'm making it my mission to not use these words on my channel. I don't know what day it is, but it's May something, and I do not want to use those 2 words on my channel for at least 3 months, maybe 6. Maybe ever, because I can't stress this enough, that's not even the point. And I kind of want to focus on other ideas and concepts in luxury, especially on the pre-love market. But what I find really fascinating isn't the word, but what I find really interesting, I guess, is how this pedestal was created, and that's kind of what I want to dismantle a little bit. They can only continue to be profitable. They can, like, they've just have so many increases in revenue because they raised their prices over the last couple of years because people are still buying it. And what I want you guys to do watching this is to examine why you're still buying it, why you're buying it to begin with, why you want it, why you covet it, and why you desire it. It's totally okay to continue to do so, but do it because it's something that resonates with you. And I'm totally admitting that I was lulled into the hype and notoriety of this brand. Even though theoretically, like, of all people in the world, like, I was primed to know better. And, you know, the couple of bags that I did buy, like, they were definitely like reflections of my own taste, and I still have like 2 of them. While the purchases themselves might have been questionable a few times, I stand by them taste and aesthetic wise. So what I want you guys to ask yourselves, which specific elements of the brand speak to you? And what specifically about the brand's aesthetic meshes with your own style and taste? Is it the lines? Is it the color? Is it the colors? Is it the overall style and vibe? So the main elements of Chanel are woven chains, tweed, the bijou chain, ballet flats with a cap toe. We have pearls, the camellia flower, lots of rhinestones, the Coco Chanel motif. And I would say that this brand, that Chanel relies heavily on prominence of the logo on their merchandise. The color palettes, it's a lot of black, beige, red, pink, white, and burgundy. For hardware, they're really known for deep yellow gold, and I would say the second is ruthenium. Obviously, they've made silver, but like pretty much for the entirety of the brand. But when you think of a Chanel bag, you think of that really heavy yellow-plated gold. Now, of any of those things, which of those are you drawn to? Now, I've done this exercise and I am drawn to the woven chain detail. I just happen to think this looks cool, but the rest of it, if I'm being honest, I don't like. I find that their specific shade of beige doesn't suit me at all. Like, it's very like chalky and pastel. I hate pink, I don't wear red, and besides black, which is technically not even a color, general color palette just doesn't vibe with me and my taste at all. Another one of the main elements of Chanel is tweed. And I'm sorry that I'm about to roast tweed, but in my opinion, I cannot read tweed as youthful, fresh, flattering, or like chic. Like when I think of tweed, I only envision it on like old ladies. Pause for a second, because a lot of the time people have described like this type of thing as like looking grandma or looking old, and I think that better, more accurate way to express that is to say it's like conservative or no, stuffy. Yeah, like when I see tweed, I see Bunny McDougal from Sex and the City. That and nothing else. And it's either like conservative and stuffy, or it goes to like the 90s. Like, I've made it very clear, it's just not something that I gravitate towards, and I never have. So like when I put on a tweed blazer, I feel like I look like Hillary Banks from The Fresh Prince. In my opinion, putting on a tweed jacket ages you by 50%. If you're 25, you look like you're cosplaying as 50. If you're 50, you look like you're 75. Or is that 100%? This is not a math channel. Now we're gonna look at their shoes. And personally, for a long time, I've been of the mind that like Chanel just fully should not make shoes. I'm sorry. I remember saying that to myself before edition of the dad sandal. I have always seen Chanel shoes as like dowdy, unflattering, ugly. I'm sorry, and old. Just very old looking. Again, not fresh, not cute, not stylish, not sexy. As a whole, I think shoes have gotten pretty ugly over the like last 8 years, but I just think that Chanel's starting place was not good, and then it only has gotten worse over the years.
So this next pair I was super disappointed with. These are the Chanel espadrille high top. For a flat shoe to hurt, it at least has to look good, and I feel like these are very, like, they're supposed to be more casual and a little more like frumpy chic, if that's a thing. But yeah, they hurt me so much, and I just don't think it's worth it, because they're not really that cute to me.
I've made no secret that the style trends of now like just completely are not resonating with me, but Chanel's really never has, and some of the things that I regret buying the most, they've been the shoes. They're horrible. No offense. Now obviously, like, over the entire course of me being a part of this industry, like, I always gravitated away from the classic things and more towards the seasonal styles where they get more like unique, more off the beaten path, more original, while incorporating certain other elements that do make it theirs. And that's something that I definitely do still recommend. I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna buy another Chanel bag again, but I just personally feel like they don't need to be on the same level as like Gucci and Fendi, if I'm being honest. Very little difference to me in the hierarchy anymore of anything besides the price. And if you're gonna be more expensive, then you need to be better, honestly. So now with the bags, I've done a whole video review of the Chanel medium flap and how I did not like it at all. I believe what I said was the Chanel medium flap and the Chanel classic flap in general is the most overrated bag of all time. And what's crazy is that, but by that point, I had encountered maybe hundreds of classic flap bags in my life. I go into specific detail in that video, so I do recommend you checking that out if you haven't already. But briefly here, I will say that everyone talks about the classic design, and I have realized that for myself, that design does absolutely nothing for me. I'm gonna say this, like, the hero worship of Coco Chanel at this point is beginning to feel like a cult. And not like in a funny or cute way. It is kind of a lot to know about her as a person. That is, you know, well documented, well studied. There's lots of scholarship and documentation that I invite you to check out. I will generously say that, like, she's pretty problematic as a person. Outside of the, you know, problematic stuff that I'm not personally gonna get into, and just the legend and like some of the quotes and like I don't like. Now, I'm not personally like very religious, so I might just not be inclined towards that sort of thing. I don't really like how a lot of the veneration and for Chanel is fixated specifically on Coco Chanel herself. I'm into vintage Gucci because I like the bags, not because of some story about the Gucci family, you know what I mean? And I'm beginning to think that the aura and notoriety of the brand like would fall away without her as the centerpiece. I don't know, I actually just thought of this. So all of the it bags in the luxury space, like they have a woman, usually an actress, attached to them. And Coco Chanel with the classic flap, Kelly was Grace Kelly. I mean, to a lesser extent, the Speedy is associated with Audrey Hepburn. And like, I'll be honest, that's the part that I care about the least when it comes to like consuming fashion. You know, Jane Birkin wanted a better bag to travel with, and a bag would make a terrible travel bag for me. But just putting like specific famous actresses up onto this like grand pedestal and like having that be the story behind like why this item is more special than another, does it have to require a main character is my question. And I like, for me, I guess, like I don't need that. And just like Hermes, I feel like Chanel is another brand that we're just expected to like. And I don't work that way. Like, my reverence and adoration of a brand has to be earned, and I just don't feel like they're doing it. I especially detest in luxury when things become a status symbol. And now, the status symbol was there long before I came around. As much as I fought inside of myself to maintain kind of a distance away from that bag being put on a pedestal, like it creeped in anyway just because I was immersed in it for so long. Like the amount of like disassociation you have to have in order to like not just become a clone, especially when you work on the ground in the industry. It's crazy making. But the other thing too, even if I were to actually like this bag, which I have examined that I don't, like if the prevailing opinion is that this item is a symbol of status or a symbol of anything really, that kind of is what it means now. I don't like that. I don't want it. Like it's totally fine to put something on a pedestal, but like just what I want you to remember is that you should be the one that puts it there. Part of that is why I tend to go for things that don't have like obvious associations, I guess, or I try not to, just because I spoke about this a couple videos ago, but like I don't want people trying to read me physically, because like you can't, you just can't. So don't get me wrong about this. There are still a couple of things here and there that I'll be able to muster an affinity for, and just overwhelmingly I haven't liked the direction of fashion in the last couple of years. I still love vintage. I still really love aesthetically the pieces that like I've added to my wardrobe over the years. I think I'm happy to take Chanel off the top of the pile for myself. The design and the style to me is no different or better than some of the other luxury design houses. I, to be honest, find them interchangeable, and I think if their only differentiation is their reputation, if the only thing it can bring is status is not a currency for me. So I think we're gonna leave it there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.